When mentioning featherweight excellence, you can never count Max Holloway out. He is known for his rapid pace and insane striking volume, overwhelming opponents with an endless gas tank and a granite chin.
Following the main event, we will recap all of tonight's action from Rio on the UFC 212 post-fight show. Max Holloway knocks down Jose Aldo!
And some even consider him the boxer in the UFC. Blessed is in many fans' lists the best striker within the organization. Holloway's intensity is hard to ignore. The Blessed Express was the only fighter to beat Aldo not once, but twice. His range management and ability to take shots allows him to stay within striking range.
Measured approach early from the champion.
Moreover, his ability to take damage and carry some showmanship is what makes him loved by all. To stand in front of Aldo is not an easy feat, as we're talking about the winningest featherweight ever. Holloway is relentless and can throw lethal combinations that will drown opposition.
Holloway right back to the body work, then back upstairs.
Oh, Aldo is a shell of himself now. He lands the right hand and
Max Holloway peppering shots.
And just still staying very technical, very compliant.
Good, yeah.
That cut is nasty now.
Oh.
This fight's not going to make it out of this round.
Oh! Holloway looking at...
Blessed finished Aldo twice in a row and was off to one of the most beautiful featherweight reigns in UFC history. His gas tank, his combinations, his charisma all fueled him as a featherweight great. His confidence ahead of his Brian Ortega fight was insane.
Everything the guy did, I did better. He's on what, 6-fight win streak? I got 12. He beat a champion, I beat 2. And I beat one of them twice.
And Ortega was undefeated at the time. He was a Gracie black belt carrying a 6-fight finishing streak. The bookies had the fight as a pick'em, which meant they expected a closely contested bout. Ortega had the aura of invincibility with him. The first round had some balance to it. Ortega struggled to take the fight to the ground, which is where he has the most success.
Nice defense there from Holloway.
Overall, a balanced first round. However, the second round saw Blessed turn it up.
Big first title shot. It's a lot to take in, especially against...
He's the best.
Beautiful job from Holloway. Oh, big right counter from Ortega.
Holloway's ability to string together combinations was brutal.
Oh!
You add that to his fight IQ of cutting angles, and you have a problem on your hands. Holloway was making Ortega miss, and was overall having a great time.
He's making Ortega miss badly in this round.
He's pouring it on. Look at him.
He even paused for a second to teach Brian how to block shots. Despite Ortega's toughness, Holloway would find a way to get rid of him.
And Holloway's landed nearly 200 at a 52% clip. Ortega retreats.
Holloway's relentless volume and pressure sealed the deal.
Oh, man. Oh, God, it's like a 10-punch combo from Max. The
Blessed Express got it done after the doctor saw Ortega could no longer continue. The reign of Holloway was a sight to behold. And it was clear why Max Holloway was the leader in significant strikes. A lot of people attempt to discredit Holloway because of his losses. However, his only losses were against champions, and they were mostly close fights. Going up a weight class is never easy. Moreover, his first 2 fights with Volk could be argued to go his way. His first fight with Volk was mostly judged in favor of Volkanovski. However, the first rematch was quite the different story. The rematch showed what a lot of people suspected, that both Volkanovski and Holloway were at the top of the food chain at featherweight. Holloway certainly wasn't imposing his endless swarming and combinations, but he was still carrying a successful approach to the fight. In all fairness, it was a very close and contested affair. At the end, it was declared a split decision. Highly controversial, of course. Holloway's comeback during the pandemic saw him bring forward some unorthodox training strategies.
Oh yeah, this works in the game. So my friend at the time, Dustin Kimura, he would kind of hold mids for me, and I would be like, look, I tried this in the game and it was working, let's try it. And we did it. I figured it out from freaking UFC, the regular UFC game, the first ever UFC game.
What?
Yeah.
But how exactly did Holloway make his largest statement? After losing his belt, Holloway was thrown into the octagon against Calvin Kattar. Calvin came in as an underdog despite coming off 2 straight wins. Some feared Max Holloway would never come back as we know him.
I'm Calvin Kattar here. Oh, that was a beautiful back kick in this one.
Oh, man.
Holloway showcased dominance in all 5 rounds.
It's going to be... Oh! That hurts him! Body shot! Oh, it could be it! With counter punches, which is going to further discourage Kattar.
It almost seemed as if Blessed was 10 levels above Kattar. His endless combinations and ruthless cardio drained Kattar. However, he wouldn't give up. Kattar was taking absurd amounts of damage, but he kept standing. However, he was struggling to land anything at all on Holloway. It came to the point where many believed the fight should have been called.
And 20, he is just scattergunning techniques all over the octagon, and Calvin Kattar is at the center of them.
That last body shot really appeared to bother Kattar.
Oh, this could be it!
Oh, Kattar getting worked here up against the fence, but he fires right back. What a fight!
Is he gonna go down? Calvin Kattar is...
It was perplexing how Calvin Kattar was still standing up.
That 500 strike attempt.
Oh my goodness! Look at the hey, it's a body shot.
Blessed looked like an average UFC 4 video game player, spamming all the combinations available. Holloway had made his statement. He was the best boxer in the UFC.
He's even listening to the commentary team.
The best boxer in UFC, baby!
Blessed would become one of the only fighters to record 3 10-8 scorecards within the UFC. People had counted Holloway off, despite his young age. His back-to-back wins following his loss to Volkanovski proves that he is still at the top of the food chain. Months following the defeat of Kattar, Holloway would defeat rising promise Yair Rodriguez. Holloway displayed something many didn't know he had, which was his improved ground game.
Max looking for the arm triangle.
I mean, that's long way. 3.5 to go. Plenty of time on the ground. Yair needs to be very careful.
While he didn't dominate like he did against Kattar, he still showed he was levels above. He showed consistent improvement on his overall game. And Holloway would defeat the man who is now the interim champ. While Holloway was defeated by Volkanovski in the trilogy, His warrior spirit, grit, and tenacity could open doors for a fourth fight. After all, he's defeating all the promising featherweights thrown at him. Holloway now faces almighty Arnold Allen, yet another promising featherweight. Allen is young, hungry, and ready. However, no man daunts Max Holloway, and we all know he's got what it takes to make another run at the belt.